Welcome to another TechHelp video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I am your instructor, Richard Rost. This is the big one. This is the one a lot of you have been waiting for. It's over an hour long. It's invoicing, building an order entry system, and an invoice report. It will also include a free template of everything that I build in the video, which you can download for free off my website. You'll find a link down below. This video will show you how to build a complete order entry system where you can enter products, prices, send out invoices, and lots more. Today's question comes from Scarlett from Atlanta, Georgia, one of my Platinum members. Scarlett says, I know you have lots of lessons on creating an order entry system with invoices. I don't have time to learn all of that or watch 20 hours of video. Can you show me how to put together something quick and simple? I just need to be able to invoice my customers for a few products and my labor. That's it. I plan to watch all of those lessons eventually, but I'm doing my billing now with Word and Excel, and it's getting cumbersome. Help. I actually hear this a lot, Scarlett, and in fact, a lot of people come to me and say that I just started a business, but now it's starting to get rolling. I've been using Word and Excel, and it's just getting crazy. What can I do to put this in Access? That's one of the reasons I started teaching that in my Access Expert series. Lots of people want to learn how to do order entry and invoices in Access, and it's not terribly hard, but it's not super easy either. Now you're right. In my full classes, I go over lots of stuff, all the different options, collecting sales tax, making quotations and invoices, inventory management, all that stuff. So if you don't want to take the time to learn all that right now, let me take a few minutes here and show you how to put together something simple that will look professional and get you started. And you can always add features later. That's the benefit of building your own database with Access. I've actually been wanting to put this in my free blank template that I have on the web so people can download that and start using it. So let's get started. Now I'm going to be using my blank customer template as a starting point. If you haven't watched the video on how I build this, go watch that now. I'll put a link down below in the links section. Now I'm going to be referring to some concepts that I've already covered in my other free TechHelp videos. So if you haven't watched them at the point where I mention it, then go watch that video. You're going to have to know some stuff like relationships, combo boxes, calculated queries, criteria, that kind of stuff. I'll show you everything you need step by step right here, and you won't have to do any programming or VBA, but there are some other concepts you might have to go refresh yourself on if you aren't familiar with them. But don't worry, I'll put links to everything down below. All right, let's open this guy up. First thing we have to do is build a table to hold our order information. So let's go to Table Design. This will be our order T, so we're going to start off with an order ID. That'll be our auto number. We're going to put a customer ID in here to store the customer number. That's a number. That's a related field. If you've never done table relationships, go watch the relationships video. Also, I should mention at this point, if you're going to be printing invoices, there are some numbers you may want to hide from your customers. You don't have to worry about that right now, but as a beginning business, if a customer sees that they have customer ID number 6, they know you don't have that many other clients. Likewise, if you have sequential order numbers or you use auto numbers for your order numbers and you put those on your invoices, again, a customer gets invoice number 100 today and then 113 3 weeks from now. He knows you're not doing that much business. Now, I've got videos that address those topics. They're a little more advanced. Again, I'll put links down below about sequential order numbers and hiding customer IDs. But for the basic, simple database, you don't have to worry about that. How about an order date? That'll be a date time field. And down here under default value, I'm going to put equals date like that. That'll default the current date in the date field. Now, if you want to put the time in there as well, you can use now, equals now. It actually makes some of the calculations a little more difficult later on when you do things like accounting. You have to take into consideration that an order that comes in on December 31st at 5 p.m. is greater than December 31st at midnight. So you have to be careful with your calculations. If you really care what time of day your orders come in, then put now there. If you don't, stick the date. It makes the accounting easier. How about is paid? Is this order paid? That'll be a yes/no value. Default to no, of course. And again, yes, in my full classes, I cover taking partial payments toward invoices and all that crazy stuff. But for our simple template today, we just cared about whether it's paid or not. How about a description? That'll be a short text field, and that's good to have like on your order list. You could put like, 4 computers or a basket of fruit or whatever, and then the actual line items will go on the order later. But this is like a brief description. If you want to use it, you don't have to. And likewise, I like to always put notes as long text or a memo field in there. Why? Just so you can put, delivery instructions or any kind of craziness that you have to put on the order itself. Now, at this point, you're probably thinking about, what about bill to address, ship to address? Yes, that's all stuff you could definitely add to your order table, and I do recommend it for the long run. However, to keep things simple today, we're just going to use the customer's address on the customer table. It is better long run to save that information in the order table as well. And I know I talk in my beginner classes about not duplicating information, but one of the exceptions is history. If you want to save a history of your orders. For example, Joe Smith lives in New York, places an order today. 6 months from now, he moves to Florida. If you update his customer record and you don't have his old address saved in the order, then it will change where it looks like the order went. So saving things like the customer's address, billing information in the order itself is important, and I cover this in my more advanced lessons. But for now, if you're just going to print off an invoice and not worry about it, you'll be okay. You're probably also wondering about an order total. Don't worry about the order total. We're going to calculate the order total based on all the items in the order. We're going to add them all up and use a sum function. Sometimes for really, really big databases, you may calculate it and store it in the order table just to speed up your reporting, but we're not worried about that right now. And you can add any other fields in here that you think are relevant for the order as a whole. The due date, when the payment's due, if you want to put that in there, what the terms are, tracking numbers, any kind of thing that you want to put in here that has to do with the order. But we're going to keep our template simple. Feel free to add whatever fields you want. I'm going to save this as my order T, my order table. Primary key, yes. There we go. That's the auto number. Okay. So now we have the order table saved, and that's information on the order as a whole. Now we need information on the details in that order. So let's create another table. Table design. The details are basically the line items. Okay, I call them order details. So order detail ID, that's my auto number. Order ID refers back to what order it's on. Do we need the customer ID here? No, because these are line items on an order. The order table has the customer information, right? We can go back and figure out which customer this order belongs to because we are in the order detail table, which is related to the order table, which is related to the customer table. Those are all one-to-many relationships. And again, if you don't know that, go watch my relationships video. Very important stuff. I have a whole seminar on relationships. Now, in a full-featured database, we would have a product table where you can pick your products and add those to the order. We're not going to get that complicated since Scarlett says she has a very simple needs right now. So at this point, you're just going to have to type in the order information. If you only have a couple of products, you can type them in and their prices. In the extended cut for members, I will show you how to pick a product from a list. But for now, we're just going to have to type it in. So we'll have a product name. That'll be short text. Then we'll have the quantity of that item purchased. That'll be a number. I'm going to make that number a double. And I'm going to make the default value 1. Why a double? Well, what if you're selling things in fractions? What if you're selling 1.5 pounds of salmon, for example? Or what if you're billing for time and you're billing in 15-minute increments? Right? You could bill for 1.25 hours. All right. Double is my default go-to for floating point numbers. I pretty much always use double. All right. There's decimal and there's single. There's a bunch of other ones. I like to use I pretty much use long integer and double most of the time. Okay. Now we've got the unit price. That'll be a currency value. Okay. You can default that if you want to. I'm going to leave it at 0. Now you're thinking, what about the math there? What about multiplying the quantity times the unit price to get a line total? We're going to call that the extended price, and we're going to calculate that in a query. We don't need to save that value in the table if we can calculate it in a query. Okay? Next, notes. Long text. Just whatever information you might want to put in there. If you're billing for time, for example, you can put labor 1 hour, and then in the notes put what you did. Gave custom training session on Excel, for example. Okay, let's save this order detail T. I like to keep all my table names singular, by the way, and all my field names if I can. It just saves headache later if you don't. You have to remember. Okay, was it order table, or was it order T, or was it orders T? I just keep everything singular. It's one of those nuggets of wisdom from my 27 years of doing this. Okay, let's close that. Now, I like to put sample data in my tables before I do too much work on other stuff. So let's take a look at the customer list. All right, so I'm customer 1, James Kirk's customer 2. Let's put a couple orders in the system here. So here's order T up there. And let's put order detail T down below. Now, this is going to be a form with a subform when we get to building the forms. But for now, I just want to put some sample records in here. All right, so the first order is going to be customer 1. That's me. All right, today's date, description. Let's put in here training. No notes. Now down here, order 1, product name, training, hour and a half at $30 an hour. I remember those days. Okay, now let's say order 1 also. Let's say while I was there, I bought a mouse. All right, at $7. And I also I got a cupcake from the little concession stand. All right, that was $3.50. Okay. All right, next order comes in. Let's say it was customer 2, James Kirk. Okay, and he needed Starship parts. Okay, so down here now, order 2, what did he need? All right, he needed a phaser bank. One of those at $1,500. Okay, he needed some photon torpedoes. I'll just abbreviate. He needed 10 of those at $3,500. And yes, when I'm doing sample orders like this, when I'm building a database, I like to put in ridiculous numbers sometimes, really, really big stuff, because you never know. I built a database one time for a client, and I was using sample numbers like 200, 300 that you would normally use in an order system. And they were having order totals come out in the millions, and I didn't format the fields large enough on the forms and reports to display a number that was $1 million or more. And I didn't catch that until after the database was built, and they're like, hey, we can't see any values, so I had to redesign a bunch of stuff. Okay, and he also needs some tribble bait, right? He needs 5.5 pounds of that, right, at $30 a pound. Okay, so see how we're going with this? See how the orders and the order details relate to each other? Order details, there's order 1. That relates to that order, which relates to customer 1. This just so happens to be that customer 1 and customer 2 happen to also have order 1 and order 2. But that's, the next order could be customer 6. All right? So again, watch my relationships video if you're confused with this at all. Okay? And you can always come back and finish this one. Now, next we're going to build an order detail query because our order detail table has great information, but I need to multiply that quantity times the unit price to get what I'm going to call an extended price. You don't save that in the table, and you could do the calculation in forms and in reports directly, but I prefer doing it in a query because when this gets more complicated later on, if you add things like sales tax and all kinds of other stuff, it's better to have the calculations in a query. Again, trust me. So let's close this, create, query design. We're going to bring in our order detail table, close that, bring in all the fields, and then we're going to put in a calculated query column right here. If you've never done calculated query fields before, again, go watch the video on that. I'll put a link down below. Calculated query fields. This is going to be a field called extended price, set it equal to the quantity times the unit price. Okay, and if you want to, you can right-click on that, go to Format, go to Properties, go to Format, and put in here Currency. So this looks like a currency value. Where are you? There you are. All right, save it. This is going to be my order detail queue, order detail query. And now when I open this guy up, there you go. Okay. You can see the math is already done. 1.5 times 30, $45, and so on. Check and make sure these look good. They look good. Okay, close that up. Now we're going to make the order form, the parent form, to hold the information about the order. All right, now if you've already watched the blank template video, you know I've got a continuous and single form right here. These are blanks. All right, I'm going to copy the single form. Copy, paste. This will be my order F. This is the whole reason I did this was so I don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. Design view. All right, this is orders, so let's make this guy green. Let's go with money, right? Let's make this like that color green. That looks good. Okay. Now, let's bind this form to a table. The record source will be order T. All right, close that. Let's bring in all the fields from the order table. Click, shift click, and then drag them all over here. Whoops, I missed it. Come here. There it goes. Sometimes it's weird. Sometimes if you don't get it exactly right, it won't come over. So it's not you. That happens to me too. We can close that field list. Now I keep these guys around so I can use them to format paint. Watch this. Click on that ID there. Go to the Home tab. Use the Format Painter. Click on Order ID. See, now it's formatted. That's gray and that's black. Do the same thing with Label here. Double click on the Format Painter. It stays down. Click, 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 click. There. This guy we can do separately. All right. In fact, I'm going to format paint you like that. There we go. Now I can get rid of these. And let's just line these up, make them look pretty. Now, a lot of people say that you take too much time making stuff look good. A lot of other people say, I like to watch you make stuff look good. So I'll try to keep it in the middle. Now this we're going to replace with a combo box. So this guy's going to just slide over here for a minute. Okay, order date can go there. Personally, I find that making your forms look good makes the database easier to use. Not only for you, but for other people who might not know Access. If you've got a well-designed form, okay, it's easier to work with. Okay, description can go there. Notes are going to go over to the side. Let's see, order ID. Now the order ID here is just for you, so I'm not worried about other people seeing it. Description. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit lighter on this background. Just a touch. Let's go there. Yeah, that's better. Okay, order ID. Order date. Right there. And you can put spaces in your labels too. Description. Let's put the customer down here. That's going to get replaced. Is paid can go anywhere you want. You can put that just paid if you want to. And then notes, I like to make my notes look like a little note field. I do that yellow. Where's the yellow? I don't like using theme colors. So you pick the yellow here, and then we'll wash it out. More colors. That's better. And then I like to give it that shadow effect. Yeah, double click on it. Go to Properties. Go to Format. Find Special Effect. And go Shadowed. Yeah, just like that. Maybe make that black. Or darker at least. Okay, there we go. Not going to spend a ton of time on formatting. I just like to show you a few things. Okay, now the customer ID we're going to pick from a list. Now the problem with the customer information, if you look at it, is you got two fields here. Richard Rost, okay? And you might even have a company name field in here. So what you might want to do is put those together with a concatenated field so that it reads easier inside of your combo box. Okay, it's a little more advanced trick. If you've never done string concatenation before, again, I got videos on that. Go watch those. All right, here's how you do it. Create, query design. Literally for this box, all we need is in the customer table, we need the customer ID because that's the field that's getting saved in the order table. So we need that. Okay, then we're going to make our own little field over here. We're going to call it LF, last name first. Okay, and that's going to be last name and quote, comma, space, quote, and first name, just like that. Here, I'll zoom in so you can see it. Okay, last name and a comma and a space and the first name. All right, that's string concatenation. All right, I'm going to save this as my customer LFQ, customer last name first Q. It's literally just the ID and the last name first. And you could sort these if you want to, but the combo box will do the sorting for you too. All right, so get rid of that. Now we're going to make the combo box. All right, and again, if you've never made combo boxes before, I got videos on this. This is called a relational combo box. I'll put a link down below. All right, I want the values from another table or query. Next, pick queries, that customer LF that we just made. Bring in both fields. Next, sort it by the LF. Next, that's what it's going to look like. Now, because this is based on a query, you don't get that checkbox here that says hide the key field. So you have to manually hide it. Just grab the width and make it 0. Just like that. That's all you have to do. Because we don't care to see that number, but I need it in the box to store the value. All right. Next. Okay. Storing what value? What is the linked value? That customer ID. Next. And we're going to store that in the customer ID field. We're going to bind it to customer ID. Next, what label would you like? Customer. And that's it. And let's just format paint it now. Whoops, wrong one. There we go. Slide it up into here. Slide that over like that. Okay, just like that. Let's save this, close it, and open it back up again. See? That's why I did that with the combo box. Because now I've got last name, comma, first in there. That's a whole video on itself, by the way. Let's left justify this stuff. Left align, I should say. I always say justify. It's align. Left align. Yeah, align left. Okay. Justifies when it goes out to both margins. And that looks a little better. Okay, good. All right, so we've got the order information all set. This is the information about the order as a whole. Okay. And we can make that notes field a little bit bigger here too. Okay, now down below here is where the information is going to go about the order details. Let's make that next. And again, I got a continuous form blank template right here. Let's copy that guy. Copy, paste. This will be the order detail F. All right, let's design you. And again, we got to fix the colors first. Let's make this color the same as the other color we just used, that guy there. Okay, let's do the same with this and this, but let's make the in here a little bit brighter. Let's go more colors, and we'll make that just a little bit brighter like that. Now, with continuous forms, you got to change the alternate back color too. I hate that alternate back color thing. All right, save that. There's no way to turn that off in the template that I know of, at least. If you guys figure it out, let me know. All right, let's make these labels black. Let's go with that. And let's bind this now to our table or query. We're going to use that query that we designed earlier, the order detail Q. That way we've got that extended price calculation. Okay, save it. Let's bring in the fields we need. Design, add existing fields. Here they all are. I'm going to bring them all in. Just bring them all in for now and drop them down here in the form footer. We're going to do some work with them here. Okay, we don't need any of these labels. Chop them off. Now, order detail ID and order ID, we don't need them. We don't need to see them. I'm going to leave them in the form, though. I'm going to slide them over here like this, and I'm going to make them hidden. And when I hide something, I like to make them red. That way, when I'm in design mode, I can see them. All right, I know they're there, but I'm going to go to their properties, right-click, properties, and I'm going to set visible equal to false. I don't need to see them. Why? The detail ID is meaningless, okay? The order ID is linked to the parent form, the order form, and the relationship between them, the subform relationship, will handle that linking of the fields. So we don't have to have it there, nor do we have to set a default value or any of that crazy stuff. That's the one nice benefit of using a subform is Access handles the relationship for you. I want to have them on the field, though, in case I want to refer to them from some other form some other time. All right, if I make more stuff on here that refers back to the order detail item, you might want to have it later. Right now, we don't need it. So let's get rid of these here boxes there. These here boxes there. Yeah, that made sense. Okay, let's put product name first over here. Let's make it as wide as we think we're going to have to make it. And make that on the grid like so. Okay, the quantity can go next. And that should be about good. I don't know what kind of quantities you're dealing with, but make that as wide as you have to. Unit price can go next. Make that as wide as it has to be. All right, extended price goes next. That's usually a little bigger than unit price. And I like to make that gray. Just a little light gray. Just that indicates to the user that's a calculated value. You can't change it. All right, now notes can go down here. Now I want that same note format that I had in the order form, so I'm going to design view. I'm not going to redo all that work, right? Click on this guy. Go to the Home tab. Format Painter. Click on that guy. Oh, I lost it. Hang on, one more time. Sometimes... Let's see. Yeah, see, sometimes it doesn't work across forms. There's an easy trick. What you got to do is just take this guy, copy it. Actually, you know what? We can copy and paste the whole thing. The field is called notes in both tables. So watch this. Get rid of him. Copy, paste. It's the same field with the same name in both tables. The trick I was going to show you is sometimes if you had two different fields, let's say, sometimes Format Painter doesn't work across forms. You just copy this object over here, then you can format paint with it. It's a little bug, I think, in Access. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay. And this doesn't necessarily have to be that big. We can make it like that. Okay. Shrink this up. Shrink this up. Shrink that up. And let's fix our labels across the top. Quantity. This is the product or item, product, service, whatever you want to call it. Copy, paste, paste. All right, this is going to be the unit price. And this will be the extended price. And what's going to happen is I'm going to right align this stuff here. So let's go select all of these and right align the numbers like that. And that should let me line them up a little better. Let's do this. Get those right on the grid. Slide that up. Extended price. And let's make this a little bit bigger. Extended price. Unit price. And I'm going to select all of these. Right click, size to grid. I hate that stuff doesn't come in sized perfectly on the grid. The Microsoft team needs to fix that. When you bring in stuff off the add fields box, it should come in snapped on the grid in here. Okay, let's take a look at what we got here. Save changes, yes. Open it up. There's our stuff. Now you're seeing all the details from all the orders that are in here because we have nothing to limit it. The form-subform relationship will do the limiting. Let's put a total down here, right, for our order total. That's just summing this guy up. Design view. I'm going to copy this guy, copy, paste, slide it over here like so. Maybe bold it. All right. Now we have to change this just slightly. The control source is going to be equals the sum of extended price. And again, if you've never used the sum function, I've got videos on that. I've also got a video called Form Footer Totals. Go watch that video too. Okay. And this is the sum of the extended price. I like to put up here the name sum extended price. Give it a unique name in case you need to refer to it later. And if you have to make this bigger, make it bigger, but we probably shouldn't have to. Let's see. All right, looks good. There's our order total from that. Now it's time to put this inside of the order form. Are you ready? It's pretty easy to do. Design view on the order form. Make some room. Grab this guy. Click, drag, drop. That's it. Delete the label that comes in here. Slide this over like that. Make it tall like that. Close that up a little bit. Resize this stuff so everything fits nicely. Save it. Click on the subform, go to data, and just make sure these two fields are set. Link master field, link child fields. Those should be both order ID. Access does that for you automatically. Save it. Close it. Now open up the order form. Boom. There you go. All right, maybe make it a little bit taller so we can fit some more stuff in here. A little bit taller. All right, there we go. Save it. Close it. Open it back up again. Looks good. Now, I like to turn off this inside set of these navigation buttons down here because this just gets confusing. This is for the orders. This is for the order details. We don't need this. We're going to get a scroll bar over here if we get too many of them, right? If this is smaller, well, I can't do it here, but that's what this extra space is for you. So you get a scroll bar. We don't need those. Let's turn those off. Order detail form, design view, go to product, properties, not product. And we're finding on the Format tab the navigation buttons. Turn those off. And for scroll bars, we just need the vertical scroll bar. All right, we do want the record selectors, though, because you want to be able to pick a product over here, for example, if you need to delete a line item. All right, now save it. Open it back up again. All right, looks a whole lot better. And again, you will get a scroll bar over here if you have to go up and down. Perfect so far. One thing to take note of is our tab order. Tab. Okay, it's jumping over here. Tab. Okay, it's jumping around kind of weird. Down here, let's see what it looks like. Okay, the inside form is fine. Let's fix the tab order out here. Nope, close. Right click, design view. This guy, tab order. Auto order to start. I want to go order ID. Order date is next. Okay, description is next. And this just outlined for me. I forgot to name that combo box. It's still combo 10. We'll fix that in a second. But combo 10 will go after description. Then is paid. Then notes. Then the order detail form. That's fine. And then hit OK. And let's give this guy a name. Let's call this my customer combo. You can call it customer ID if you want to. I like to call combo boxes combo. I know that 99 times out of 100, that combo box is based on an ID value. All right, so there we go. There's our order form. So the order entry is all pretty much set. All right, let's go pick another order here. All right, let's say James needs, he bought a 3D chessboard for Spock's birthday. All right, and that was $75. All right, there you go. And you can see the calculations are updating down here just fine. Another thing to take into consideration and note is that if you change something up here, okay, the order total on the bottom will not update until you leave that record. Just keep that in mind. Again, in my advanced classes, I show you how to get around that. You can actually put a recalculate event in each one of these. So as I type something in here, for example, and hit tab, it immediately updates down below. That's more advanced. I'll cover that in the extended cut for the members too. But for everybody else, just remember you have to leave the line item for the calculations to update. Okay, time to make the printable invoice now. We're going to need another query so that we can bring together the order information, the order detail information, and the customer information, because we need the customer's name and address too on the invoice. So create, query design. We're going to need to bring in the order table, the order detail queue. So go to queries, bring in that order detail queue because we want that extended price on each line item, right? That's in there. Then we need the customer information. So go back to tables and go to customer T. All right, all three of these tables are related together. Now, we're going to set these relationships equal to outer joins. Now, if you've never done outer joins before, go watch my video on outer joins. Basically, what that does is that says I want to see all of the orders and the related information from these tables if it exists. If you don't do that, if you put an order in the system without a customer associated with it, you won't see it. If you put an order in the system without an order detail item, you won't see it. Yeah, generally those things never happen, but they can. All right, you might put an order in the system and forget to attach a customer to it, go to print an invoice, and it doesn't work. Okay, which might happen. You might have a walk-in customer. All right, if you have a bakery and someone comes in and wants to buy, a dozen donuts or whatever, you don't want to put a customer record in the system for them, so you just put an order in and hit go. I usually have a cash customer record, but sometimes you forget to pick it. Okay, so double click on these lines, go to number 2. Include all records from order T and the records from customer T where the join fields are equal, and you'll see an arrow that says show me all of these and the related customer information if it exists. Double click on that and go to 2. Okay. Bring in all of the fields from the order table. From the order detail queue, I want the product name, the quantity, the unit price, the notes, and the extended price. I try not to bring in the star from multiple tables because then you get all these duplicated values. Like order ID exists in both of these tables. So now you're dealing with order T.order ID and order detail Q.order ID. It just gets confusing. We will have a duplicated value with notes because we've got notes in both of these tables. Excuse me, both of these tables. Right? There's a notes field over here. That's okay. I can deal with one of them. All right, notes will be in both tables. That's fine, not a problem. From customer T, just bring in the customer stuff that you want on the invoice. So in this case, I've already got the customer ID. I want first name, last name. I don't need email. Bring in address, city, state, zip, and country. So we can print that on the invoice. We don't need the rest of this stuff. Okay, save this as my invoice R. All right, my invoice report. Or if you want to keep all your order stuff together, let's do that. Let's keep all of our order stuff named the same. Let's call this order invoice. Right-click, rename, order invoice R. That way all my order stuff stays together. And if I type it in the search bar, order, I can see all my related order stuff together. I used to just call it invoice R, but I've since changed my ways. Okay, order invoice R. Open, oh, excuse me, that's an R. It should be a Q. See, I'm talking to you guys and I messed up already. There we go. It's kind of like when you're shooting baskets, right? You can hit it, no problem. And then as soon as you try to show off and explain to someone else, hey, look, watch this, you mess up. I do the same thing with you guys. I can do this in my sleep, and then I'm talking, explaining something to you, and I make a stupid mistake like that. Okay? So there's my order invoice queue, right? All the order information, the order date. Some of this stuff duplicates, all right? You can see all the order information duplicates. That's fine. All right, we'll deal with that at the invoice level. But I've got all my line item stuff, I got all my order stuff, I've got all my customer stuff together in one spot. Okay, now we're ready to make the report. So let's go to create, and then report design. blank report. I don't have any blank templates for the reports, but that's okay. I hardly make reports. I don't make a lot of them. First things first, let's bind the report. Open up the properties for the report. Go to record source. Drop that down. The order invoice queue that we just made. All right, I'm going to save this before I forget about it. Order invoice R. That's my report right down there on the bottom, first one. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my report header and footer. I want a bunch of information to be at the top of the report and at the bottom of the report. And that information is going to be stuff related to the order as a whole. The details section is going to include the line items. Okay? So right-click anywhere in here and turn on the report header and footer. It comes in gray. I hate that. Change the color. Format. Back color right here. Just make it white. Standard color is white. Okay. Same thing here with the details section. It's got that dumb alternating background color. I can't stand it. Get rid of that. Copy. Paste. Yeah, I should probably add a blank template to my templates section. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to use this guy because I'm going to update my template with this stuff that I'm adding today. All right. Save this. And I am going to, let's copy and paste this guy. Copy. Paste blank R. That's got my blank settings in it. Okay, perfectly. All right. So the report header is going to get all the stuff that goes at the top of the invoice. Let's open up the field list. What goes up there? Well, the order ID, the customer ID, the order date, whether it's paid, description. Yeah, I'll put the notes up there too. Then we'll put the customer information up there. So where's the customer stuff? Here we go. First name, last name, address, city, state, zip, country. All right, all of this stuff is about the detail, the line item stuff, right? The product, the quantity, the unit price. This is notes for that line item. See, it's order detail Q notes versus order T notes. All right, once you got all these guys selected, grab any one of them, drop them up here in the report header. Boom. Okay. The rest of that stuff's going in the detail section down here. Don't worry about the page header and footer just yet. In fact, I'm going to shrink that up to nothing. We'll use them in a bit. All right, this through that, that's the detail stuff. That goes down there. Okay. That's how we're handling our grouping. You could do grouping levels too. If you want to print out multiple invoices in a batch, you'd set up a sorting and grouping level. We're just doing one at a time, so this is actually easier. All right, I cover sorting and grouping in a different lesson. I'll put a link down below to the sorting and grouping video. I warned you I'd refer to lots of other videos in this video. Okay. So order ID can go there. Let's put the customer information all over on the right over here. So there's the customer information. There's the order date. I'm going to select everything real quick and go right-click, size to grid. It's one of my pet peeves. Okay. Is paid can go, I don't know, there. That's fine. Description. All right, notes. And you can make it so that these fields can grow and shrink, by the way. By default, I believe can grow is on. Let's find can grow. Yeah, can grow is right here. Oh, can grow and can shrink are on. It won't shrink, though, if it's got a label next to it. And you also have to make the section shrink. I got lessons on that, too. That's a whole different topic. But this will get bigger if it needs to vertically. All right, that's the default behavior in any report. Actually, let's move the order notes down to the report footer. Down here in the report footer. Let's put that down here. That way the notes are all at the bottom. Okay. Now the customer. Let's make these labels all black, by the way. I don't like how they come in all gray like that. Black. Black. I don't know who was thinking at Microsoft that these would look good gray. That's going to go away, actually. Okay. All right. So this is the customer. Customer ID come over here, right? Justify that. Let's bold that. All right, order ID. And again, we had that conversation about hiding this information if you don't want the customer to see it. That's up to you. Let's left align this stuff. Okay, customer ID is over here, right aligned. And the labels, we're just going to delete these labels. And we're going to format this as like an address block. So we're going to do first name, last name, address. Let's make this a little bit bigger. All right, city or whatever address fields you have for your location, state, and zip. And if you want to print this out, and you can format this so it fits in a window envelope. I had mine set so that I could print it out and fold it tri-fold it, and then it would fit perfectly inside of a window envelope. That's just trial and error, folks. There's no you just got to line it up where you want it. If usually it's over here on the left-hand side, put that over here on the left. We could do that. Let's do that. Usually window envelopes are over on the left. So let's take the customer information, put it over here. Then we'll put the order information all around the right, like that. And we'll put his pay down here. And then the customer information will be over here, like this. And it's just a matter of lining that up in the window. One other thing I like to do up here, let me save this before I go too far. Save. Let's slide all this stuff down like that. And I'm going to take a label, just copy and paste a label. Put it up top here like this. Put the word invoice in the label. All right, bold it, and let's go really, really big, 28 point. Nah, even bigger than that. Let's make it all caps too. And let's make it some font that looks demanding, like Times. Yeah. There we go. 48 point. That looks like an invoice. All right. All right, let's save it. Let's take a peek at what we got so far here. Right-click, print preview. Don't open it up normally. Just go to print preview always. Okay. That looks good. It's getting there. Let's turn all the boxes off. That's another thing I hate, is all the boxes that come in by default. Right-click, design view. I'm going to select everything. Go to Format, Shape Outline, Transparent. It turns all those dumb-looking boxes off. Right-click, print preview. Much better. Okay. Let's see what the top is looking like. We're only done with the top so far. Customer 1, Richard Ross, da-da-da. You can use a concatenated field, by the way, if you want to put that together, Richard space Ross. That's up to you. All right, I already showed you how to do it. His pay looks kind of silly hanging out over there by itself. Design view. Let's put this up here next to invoice. Yeah. In my full classes, I show how to put the word paid or not paid in red up here. That's again, in my full classes, I cover lots and lots of stuff. This is the quick overview. All right. And there we go. Okay. Now, let's talk about the detail items. First things first, let's make room for the headers right here actually, let's put the headers in the page header. All right, the page header. So open that page header up a little bit. Now, the page header will repeat on top of each page. The first page header comes in under the report header, which is kind of silly, but that's how they do it. Then on page 2 and beyond, you don't get the report header, but you will get the page header on top of each page. So if you're making really, really big invoices with multiple pages, then you got to repeat the stuff. Okay, so let's just cut these out, cut, and paste them up here. Paste. All right, so we've got the product. I just put product because it could be product, service, whatever. Quantity. All right, unit price, extended price, and then the notes. We don't need that label. Okay. Under these guys, actually, let's bold these guys here. Format, bold. Let's put a horizontal line underneath those. So let's go to Design and find the line tool and draw a line right there. Looks good. All right, bring this up. Now just line these guys up underneath. All right, product, quantity, unit price. Actually, we're going to write justify stuff in a second too. Get these lined up how you like them. Like that, maybe. Quantity. Okay. All right, let's slide these over here. Like that. And like that. There's no... Yeah, there's the little wizard type things that make reports. Nothing is going to be as good as you taking the time to lay these out by hand. Trust me. I've been doing this for years. Nothing that they have ever come out with takes the place of just taking your time and just doing this and making everything look nice. All right. Now, these notes we're going to slide up underneath the product name like that. All right, let's do that. And leave a tiny bit of room there. You want to space your reports out a little bit more than your forms. Okay, these order notes down here on the bottom. Put those over here like this. Maybe slide that across the whole bottom there. That will grow and get bigger if it needs to. So will this. All right, slide that up. Let's save it. Let's take a look at what we got. Right-click, print preview. Okay, it's looking pretty good. All right, looking pretty good. Now, there's a lot of extra space here, and that's because that order notes field is there, but there's nothing in it for each line item. All right, that's where that can shrink comes into play. All right, open up this guy's properties. There's can grow and can shrink. Now, the details section itself has a can grow, can shrink, but the can shrink is set to no. So the details section will not get any smaller than you have it set there. All right, change that to yes. All right, close it down and then open it back up again, print preview, and look at that. Notice all the extra space is gone. Now, we didn't have anything in those fields. Let's put some stuff in there in order F. Let's say up here, this is an order note. Okay, and for training, let's say 1 hour of Excel, half hour of Access training. Okay, and then let's say the cupcake was delicious and chocolatey. Chocolatey, is that a word? Okay, now if I close that, come back here to order invoice, right-click, print preview, you can see there they are. Okay, you might want to move them in a little bit, maybe indent them just a hair. Design view. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's slide these over just a bit like that. Maybe make them a little bit smaller. Let's go with maybe 9 point. All right, save it, close it. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, it's a little better. Let's take care of our page margins and make sure that our invoice is using all this space over here that we're not using. So let's set the margins to narrow, which gives us a ½ inch total, right? The left and right is both a quarter, so that's a ½ inch. So now if I go to Design View, that means I can come in here. Let me turn off the property sheet. And I can come right out. Now, this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I don't care about the top and bottom. But right there is 8.5. So that means I can come in just shy of 8. Don't go over that 8, because if you go over it, or sometimes even just on it, you'll get that warning message that the page is too wide. So I'm going to go just shy of that 8, like one little dot shy of 8. So I can drag this stuff over to here now, like that. I can bring over this stuff. Let's bring over all of these guys. And I just moved it a little bit. Not planning to. Okay. Let's fix that. That looks good. Unit price, extended price right there. All right, bring that line over like that. Get that lined up. Oh, I missed it. Click and drag. There we go. This stuff can come over more now like that. Maybe bring that just a touch back since I made it smaller. And of course, the order notes can take up the whole bottom. Save it. Let's take a peek at what we got. Right click, print preview. Oh, look at that. Starting to look really good. Right? Need a total down here, right? Put a total down the bottom underneath all that stuff. Right click, design view. Okay, where's that going to go? It's going to go in the report footer. Maybe slide these notes over like this, and we'll put the extended price down here. So let's put another horizontal line. Let's just put a line right across the whole bottom. Copy, paste, slide that in like there. Okay, copy the extended price, copy, paste it in the report footer, slide it over here, bold it. You can make it bigger if you want to. I like to make these order totals huge. Not super huge, but big enough so the user is like, oh, okay, that's what I owe. Okay, now we got to change this just slightly, just like before. Okay, equals sum of extended price, just like that. Sum ext price. Save it, close it, preview it, and there we go. See that? And yeah, with a full featured invoice, you'd have more stuff down here like the subtotal, the tax, shipping and handling, whatever else. But this is just a simple invoice again. As you can see, this is the streamlined version, right? We've only been doing this less than an hour, and we've gone from an order entry system, order details, we got the queries built, we got the invoice pretty much done, right? Maybe put something on the page footer down there. Design view. What do you want in the page footer? Now, this is weird. The page footer displays in here above the report footer, but the report footer goes right after the detail section, the last detail section. The page footer is always on the very bottom of the page. So here's one of my favorite things. I'll put a page numbering thing on the bottom here, delete the label, take this guy, put it over on the left, like that. And we'll do, open this up. Let's go to Format, make sure it's black, double click on it. We'll call this PG num, like that, and the control source is equals, quote, page, space, quote, and the word page, and, quote, space of, and pages. This is a special thing you can do to put the page 1 of 3 on the bottom down here. There, I'll zoom in so you can get a look at that. Page, inside of quotes, page and pages are special reserved words. They'll put the page number and the total number of pages. And then that will go right there on the bottom of your page. Let's take a peek at it real quick. Close that up. Print preview. And there it is. I get this stupid box again. Oh, I hate that box. I can't stand it. Click. Format. Shape outline. Transparent. Okay. Let's put something over here on the right, on the bottom of the page, like subject to our terms and conditions or something like that, or we accept, make checks payable to, that kind of stuff. So let's just take a label, drop it down here on the bottom in the page footer, right over here. All right, like that. Right align it, right? Make checks payable to ABC Corp, right? 123 Main Street, etc. Okay, put that on the bottom, save it, and let's take a peek. There you go. See, whatever information you want on the bottom of the page goes right down there. Next, we have to limit this so we only see the information for the order that's up on the screen, because right now I'm seeing all of the detail items, and it's looking like it's part of order 1, but it's not. All right, this is all of the items from both orders. All right, but we only have the order section showing up once in the header, and then all the detail items display. So we have to limit this a little bit. How are we going to do that? Well, let's put a couple buttons in so that we can see our orders for each customer from the customer form. All right, so if you want to see the orders, go to the customer form. Just like we have a contacts button here, we'll make one to open up their orders. Then from the order form, we can open it up to see each invoice. All right, so right-click, Design View. Let's drop a button down here. So it's going to be Command button, drop you right there. Form operations, open a form. Next. We're going to find Order F. Next. Find specific data to display. Again, this is another lesson I have, the open a specific record. All right, open a form and find specific data. Go. Now we have to link together what fields are the same on both forms. Customer ID there, customer ID on the order form, link them together right there. See that? And again, I got a whole lesson on this. All right, it's the open form specific record lesson. I'll put a link down in the link section down below. Next, text, all right, orders. Next, what name do you want? Order, button, and finish. And here's a button now to open up the orders for this customer. Save it, close it. Now go to the customer form, open up orders, and now you'll only see my orders, right, filtered. Okay, if I go to a different customer, if I go to, let's say, here's the customer list. If I go to James Kirk and I open up his orders, there's his order. All right, maybe move orders over here. Like that. Save it. All right, so there's Jim Kirk's. Now I need a button on here to print this invoice. Okay, right-click, Design View, drop a button up here. All right, Report Operation, Preview Report, Next. Now there isn't an option in here to only print a specific invoice. There's no option in the wizard to open a report and find a specific record to display. So there's two things we can do. One involves some programming, basically one line of code. But I try to avoid programming in the beginner tech help videos. I do have a separate video on it. It's called Open a Report to a Specific Record. I'll put a link down in the link section below. But for this lesson, we're going to use the second technique, and that is we're going to filter a query to only show the records for the current order. So for now, we'll open up order invoice R. Next. All right, print invoice like that. Actually, I'm just going to put in here invoice because print invoice kind of tells me, oh, I'm sending it right to the printer. I don't like doing that. I like to bring it up in print preview mode and then give them the option to print it from there. Invoice button and then finish. Okay, here's my invoice button. Put that up top like that. Okay, now when I click on that button, let's see what happens. Here's Starship Parts invoice. Again, I'm getting them all. Okay, so I have to limit my query somehow. All right, how are we going to do that? Well, go back to the invoice queue that we built, the order invoice queue. Right-click, design view. All right, in here, I need to say order ID, which I don't have separate in here, so I have to bring it in separate. Order ID, bring it down. All right, I avoid this initially so we don't have a duplicated value. Bring it to the front of the list here. I'm going to turn off that show box so we don't see a duplicate value. But the criteria, again, if you've never done query criteria, I've got lessons on that too. I'll put something down in the link section for query criteria. All right, this has to be forms. Now, as you get the little helper up there, right, it's going to be forms, order F, order ID. And you can pick from those lists or just type it in. All right, this is forms, form name notation. And again, I got videos on that too. I'll put that down in the link section. I told you I was going to be referring to a lot of other videos. But they're all free. Go watch them. Go learn some stuff, right? That's what they're there for. Now, what this will do, this will say only show the invoices where the order ID is equal to the forms order F order ID, the current open order. So now your invoices are only going to work from that form. You can't just open the invoice, but that's what we want. We want to only show that one invoice. All right, so close that, save it, yes. Now, Starship Parts, give me that invoice. Boom. There it is. There's your Starship Parts. Okay, if I go to somebody else, if I go back to me, all right, go to my orders, there's an order. And you can have multiple orders, of course. Want to add new order, there you go. All right, print this one. There you go. There's my invoice. Okay, that's it. That's really all you need. Now, something I normally don't do is make these TechHelp databases free downloads for everyone. With this one, I'm going to. Just like my blank database template, I'm going to be updating my blank template to now include this order stuff as well. So this, what you see right now, right in front of you, the database we just built in this video is going to be a free download from my website. Find a link down below in the links section. You can go there and grab it and use that just as you want and continue to modify it the way that you want to modify it. That's the beauty of using Access, is so you can change the database yourself. So as you can see, we were able to put together a pretty good order entry system in just about an hour. All right, that's not really that hard to do as long as you know what you're doing, and that's what these videos are for. So we are going to call this guy blank customer database version 1.4 now. What I usually like to do with each version is change the colors up just slightly. So let's go to blue. Yeah. We'll go dark blue on the menu too. There we go. Looks good. Save it, close it, open it back up. Perfect. There's version 1.4. And why not? Let's call this instead of the blank database. It's not blank anymore, is it? Let's call this the Access Learning Zone Customer Database. There we go. Oh, look at that. I'm so proud. Okay. Want to learn more? In the extended cut for members, we add an order list, so you can see a list of all of your orders, the order date, the order total, whether it's paid or not. We will refresh the order total and all the calculations each time the quantity or the price is updated. A lot of people are used to Excel and they get confused if they type in a quantity and they hit tab and it doesn't update everything. So we'll do that. We'll copy the address info from the customer table to the order. So each time a customer places an order, we're storing where their addresses were at the time. Because if they move, like I mentioned in the video, you don't want to have their new address as to where this order was shipped. And one of the most requested features is the product select box right down here. All right, a combo box that'll have all your products in it. You pick one, you hit add, it adds it up to the invoice. All right, here we go for the members. There's the order list. You can open up the customer from here, go to their orders from there, or you can open up the order directly from here. Right, much easier way to find your orders. And of course, this is sorted by date, so the most recent ones will be up top. I added it so you can jump right to the customer's record by double-clicking here. Anywhere you see a blue field, you can double-click. You can update a quantity now and hit tab, and it refreshes everything. Or the price. Right, a lot of users are used to Excel. They get confused because it doesn't update in Access until you move to the different record. Right, Access is record-based, so we just changed that. We just added an event in here so that if I put in here 9 now, it updates the price. Okay. We copy the customer's address up here. Now, I just did one address, but if you want to do bill to and ship to, that's fine. Just do the same thing twice. But this way, if Jim Kirk places an order for Starship parts on January 14th, and it's sent to that address, and then he moves next month, and then 6 months from now he wants to know where was that order shipped, you've got the history in the database. So that'll happen when you create a new order. Or if you change the customer for an order. If you drop this down and say, I want to change this to Jean-Luc Picard, and it'll ask you, are you sure you want to do this? Hit yes, and it updates the address information for you. But we'll put that back to Jim Kirk. Okay, yes, there we go. I don't think Picard ever had to buy triple bait. Then we'll do one of the most requested features right down here, a product combo box. We'll add a product table, a real simple one. And then you can pick what you want, like a phaser bank, hit add, boom, and it puts it right up here. It leaves you sitting on quantity so you can update it. And then tab to the next one. And there you go. That's the extended cut for members. That's almost an hour long of additional material. Remember, silver members and up get access to all my extended cut videos. And we are quickly approaching 100 TechHelp videos, so there's tons of material. How do you become a member? Click the join button below the video. After you click the join button, you'll see a list of all the different types of membership levels that are available. Silver members and up will get access to all of the extended cut TechHelp videos, live video and chat sessions, and more. Gold members get access to a download folder containing all the sample databases that I build in my TechHelp videos, plus my code vault where I keep tons of different functions that I use. Platinum members get all the previous perks plus access to my full beginner courses and some of my expert courses. These are the full-length courses found on my website and not just for Access. I also teach Word, Excel, Visual Basic, ASP, and lots more. But don't worry, these free TechHelp videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and feel free to post any comments that you have. I do read them all. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free, and click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Click on the Show More link below the video to find additional resources and links. You'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted, so if you'd like to get an email every time I post a new video, click on the link to join my mailing list. Now, if you have not yet tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of building databases with Access. It's over 3 hours long. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. And if you like Level 1, Level 2 is just $1. And it's also free for all members of my YouTube channel at any level. Want to have your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my TechHelp page and you can send me your question there. Click here to watch my free Access Beginner Level 1 course, more of my TechHelp videos, or to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching this video from AccessLearningZone.com.